Hey guys, Malcolm Moore here. In today's video, I'm going to take you through a quick progression that is going to get you carving. Carving is where you tilt the board onto its edge and then you engage the side cut of the snowboard. And it is in doing that that the board pulls you round through the arc of the turn. If you get it right, you'll be able to leave nice pencil thin lines in the snow behind you without any skidding at all. And it is best practiced on nice, mellow, wide slopes, just like I've got here right in front of me. So the first thing we're going to do is a quick test, and I want to make sure that you can actually ride the board on a flat base. I'll explain the reason for this in just a moment. So I'm just going to pop out into the middle. You don't have to be able to do this for long, but I want to make sure that you can just hold this position for a couple of seconds. And the reason that I want you to be able to do that is because when you hold that position, your center of mass is right over the middle of the board. It's not over either edge. I'll just show you once more. I'm on a flat base, my weight is right here over the middle of the board. Now, from that position, we're going to get into our very first drill. And guys, if you can't flat base, I'll link a video down below that will help you get that skill. So we're going to go from that flat base position, and then I'm going to rock my weight onto the inside of the turn, because carving is all about getting your weight in the right place. And it's really actually quite simple. It's a bit like riding a bike, just leaning into the turn. And once you get the feeling of it, it's really easy to do. So we're going to begin in this flat base position, check up the slope, so I'm about to cut across it. And from this position, I'm just going to bend my knees, feel my shins press into the front of the boots, and I just lean into the turn slightly. So that's a lateral movement where I lean into the slope. And as you can see, my line in the snow, the board has just pulled me round in a big arc across and back up the slope. The side cut of the board has engaged, all from making that small movement where I lean into the slope. We're going to now repeat that task, going across the other way, starting in a flat base. And for the heel side, the position is slightly different. It's like how I'm stood now on my heel edge with my hips just slightly back behind the board. I'm just going to rock my weight into the turn, lean back just a little bit, a bit like I'm about to sit down on a chair. I'm just going to let these skiers pass and then I will show you. So, coming down, a little bit of speed on the flat base, lean into it, sit back. Okay, I can really feel my weight pushing down through my heels. The back of my legs are pressing against the high backs of my bindings, but you don't need to lift your toes up or anything like that. That's just going to really fatigue your tibialis muscle down the front of your legs. If you just lean your body weight onto the inside of the turn, you'll put pressure against your high backs. That will tilt the board onto its edge, and that is going to do all the work for you. I'm going to do this a couple more times, and I want you to get used to carrying a little bit more speed into it. So I'm just going to take a bit more time in the flat base position, and then just drop my weight onto the inside of the turn and let the board come around, come across. Over to the other side of the piece, same thing on the heel side. Bit of speed, and then sit down into it. Okay, so once you've got this, and you're leaving those nice pencil thin lines in the slope behind you, and you can really easily just check back and see that you are. Once you've got that, it's time to add in what we call an early edge change, which is basically where we change edge whilst the board is going across the slope. So I'm going to start off on the flat base, lean onto my edge, but then rather than allowing the board to come back up the slope, when I'm going across the slope about 90 degrees to the fall line, I'm just going to stand up to that taller position, to that flat base position that we started in, and just pull my hips across the board. And it should really feel exactly the same as what we've just been doing, only now we're doing it across the slope rather than straight down it. So, a bit of speed. You've already done this. Shins pressing into the front of the boots. And when I get to about here, I just stand up, the board's flat, and I sink down onto my heel edge. And now you can just start linking those together. All right, I'm going to show you the drill once more, but you might do that and suddenly have it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start on the other side of the slope so I can go from the heels to the toes, and you can watch that edge change. And you can see my line in the snow, nice pencil thin line, no skid, the board's running its length, engaging that side cut. So here we go, flat base, onto the heels, ball comes across the slope, flat base, sink onto your toes. All right, and now you're carving. That's it, up and over. It's all about crossing your center of mass over the board and placing it on the inside of the turn. Lean into the turn right there. Having good posture is going to help, so having your hips stacked forward when you're on the toe edge and having them behind the board on your heel edge is just going to help you balance. But really, it's just leaning into the turn and finding that balance point. As you start riding faster, you'll be able to lean more into each turn. But for these mellow pieces here, it's really quite simple. Up and over the board, lean into the turn. All right, beginner carving, there you have it. If you guys are interested in progressing your skills a little bit further, I'm going to quickly plug my new online course that I've just released this winter. You can find out way more information for that down in the link below, but essentially that is going to run you through all the technique that you need from carving and way beyond. And if you want to get confident across the entire mountain and perfect your turns, then check it out. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.